Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome to Animation Capstone Week 9. That's right, Week 9. We're almost to the end point. 3 weeks left to go. So close. Really excited about that. So, really great things to go about. My apologies. My sinuses are through the roof today, so if I sneeze a little bit, sorry about that. But yeah, I figured we get a head start. So, we've talked a lot about really completing the demo reel. By now, we've really completed the first draft of it and had everything kind of together. This week, we're going to be doing a second draft of it, trying to get through all the kinks, really smooth out some pieces to where everything kind of flows right with everything, single clip. And we're really going to get into marketing and a little bit further into distribution and how distributing your demo reel to the right places is really going to matter over time. So it's really going to matter in the fact that where you place your demo reel and how you distribute it to the masses is going to be important to how your audience receives it, right? So we need to pick and choose how we want to go about that so it specifically fits for your own style and your own methods, so we can reach those potential employers or those potential clients for your artwork and everything kind of specifically matches out. And that's what we're going to be a little bit focusing on today and this week. And we're also going to be focusing on just solidifying that demo reel for those final turn-ins and make sure everything looks pretty solid. So that's really the goal of this week. A lot of great things. So yeah, what we have this week. We're going to figure out what distribution is overall. We're going to check out the differences in distribution with demo reels and how they work with demo reels specifically. What areas of distribution are great to send your demo reels off to for those things. We can also take a look at. We're going to look at specifically at what methods we can look at to distribute, and also the pros and cons of each method. What are some great things about distributing physically compared to distributing digitally? We're going to look at the pros and cons of those aspects and how we can go into detail a little bit more with those elements. And maybe find some techniques that's great for how you're going to distribute your own work specifically within the demo reel. So a lot of good stuff. So what is it overall? So distribution in a nutshell is the action of sharing something out among several recipients. That's the main definition of it. However, overall, it's just technically getting your product, work, service, or system out to the masses or to the people that need to see this stuff. And that's really what we want to focus on. And it makes it easy to access and easy to find for everybody overall. Now, it may seem challenging in the fact that there are a lot of different distribution methods and different distribution elements that may take place to get your work out to those things. But it's necessary to understand how we're going to go about this in piece by piece element. And that's what we're going to do this week specifically about distribution and what elements and what ways are great to get your videos out there. Now, we also have to ask ourselves a few questions before we get into this element and the fact that who's viewing this, for example. So when we're distributing your product out and how we want to distribute it, there's multiple different ways to do it. But we need to ask ourselves 4 major questions before we start researching methods into what's the best way to do it. So the first thing is who's viewing this? Who's your audience for your for your demo reel or for your video or how you want to go about this specifically. That way you can understand maybe the right distribution channels to where you can send to where that audience exists at. That's very important. The next question you need to ask yourself is where does this video need to go? So specifically, what distribution channels are the best out of those elements? You've kind of figured out who your audience is. Now you need to pick out what distribution channels that audience technically matters or where that audience is going to exist to see your stuff. So you can pick it. For example, if your audience is going to exist on YouTube, then you're going to want to push that to YouTube. Same thing with like Twitch or Vimeo. Those are just different methods to where this video needs to go. Another aspect you need to ask yourself is how can people view this easily? Is this going to be a public link? Is this going to be private? Are you going to show this on your websites connected to it? How are you going to market it? Are you going to send it through Twitter feeds to share the links to where this work exists specifically? How are people going to be able to view this and what elements of it? That's another thing you need to ask yourself. And then finally, when we're asking these questions is what are other ways that we can send this out through the original channels? Are there any more creative ways that we can send this through? Are there any like competitions? Are there any type of conventions that we can send this stuff out? Is there any type of conferences? Or is there a specific way where there's maybe some competitions? There's other ways to do this. Also, there could be some shows, other channels to where a lot of these elements exist for distribution. And we'll talk a lot about those elements too, but these are the main 4 questions that you want to ask yourself before you start beginning to distribute your stuff. So that way you kind of isolate and you can make and pick your choices, because there's a lot of choices to go about there. But if you ask yourself those 4 questions, you can kind of get a feel of where you need to place the video at and where your audience exists and how they can view it easily specifically. So that's pretty much it. All right, cool. Well, other than that, that's pretty much it. That's all I got for everybody for the start of this week. So good news is there's no discussion, so neat, right? But I just want you to finish your work and take the feedback that I give you from your project assignment and just apply it to there, make some changes, make it smooth, consistent transition. So that way we can just focus on the next few weeks and make it real easy with all the different elements with it. So yeah, lecture's the same. Your course project rubric's already posted to the announcements. Also with the lecture link as well. So if you have any questions there, please let me know. Other than that, that's pretty much it. So be safe, have fun, enjoy. I'll see everybody for a lecture on Tuesday as normal for 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. And that's pretty much it. So everybody have fun, be safe, take it easy, try not to work too hard. And I will see everybody for our wonderful little class on Tuesday. But keep an eye out for the announcements, and no discussion this week, so you don't have to worry about that. Other than that, that's all I got. Be safe, have fun, my friends. Enjoy.